Hello, I'm Jane Caro and I'm standing for the Senate in New South Wales as a candidate for Reason Australia. The ABC is Australia's most trusted institution. We rely on it in times of emergency. We rely on it during pandemics and lockdowns to entertain us and inform us and to report on what's going on without fear or favour. Yet it has been horribly undermined by the amount of cuts that it has suffered under successive coalition governments. If you care about the ABC and want to see it return to its former robust self, secure in its funding, vote 1, Reason above the line.
What about media concentration, skewing reporting, and then plus retaining the ABC as a public broadcaster? And that comes from Jeanette.
Oh, Jeanette, the ABC is so important. And, you know, the ABC is to me like public education. In fact, I should add public broadcasting to my list. Thank you for that, Jeanette. That's a good note to self. It's so important. It's so vital to us as a functioning democracy to have a disinterested public broadcaster that casts a critical eye over whoever is wielding power. That's not bias, that's its job. And at the moment, we have a Liberal National Party government. It is entirely appropriate that they would get more critical media than positive because they're wielding the power. It worries me that we're not necessarily seeing that in the way that we should because of this intimidation that is run about bias, left-wing bias, all that nonsense that's spouted. The concentration of the media in Australia is another problem. This duopoly thing again. And indeed, it's almost worse in our media. But I mean, one of the things that's happened in the media environment is it's been so impacted by the arrival of the internet, which is both good and bad. So it's given a whole lot of people voices who didn't have voices before. And that, I think, has a lot to do with the Me Too movement, with the success of the equal marriage plebiscite. It's had such a positive effect. Voluntary assisted dying, so many voices have been able to be heard and not shut down, and that's because of the internet. But what it's also done is fragmented, weirdly, our media environment. It's made it very hard to make money. It's made it very hard to get employment. It's made it very hard for journalists to get paid properly, particularly if they're freelance. And so a lot of otherwise well-meaning, intelligent people are doing things a bit like crossing the floor or voting for things that you don't want to vote for because they're desperate to get a start in the media business or to hold on to their job. And because there are so few alternatives, that's concentrating the kinds of messages. It's giving power to people to be able to say, you need to push this line. And the implied threat, otherwise you may not have a job here. I'm not saying that's overtly said. It may not even be meant, but it is often the message that is felt by a lot of people who currently work in the media. And it's destructive to our democracy. And I keep going back to this. Democracy is very flawed, but it's the only form of government that I can even bear to think about. And everything that corrodes it is something we need to reverse.
We are not going to get to any more questions. I just, as I say, we will be responding to those questions, and I would encourage people to go to the Reason website where every day there's more policies going up there. We really encourage you to be part of this conversation. Jane's on social media. I have no idea when
not
she
as
sleeps.
often as people think, but quite a lot.
But quite a lot. As am I. But we really encourage you to connect with us and talk to us, and certainly get onto our websites and see the policies that we've developed. Suggest new ones. This is the Reason Party. We're really small and and punch well above our weight, and we will continue to do so. And certainly with Jane in the Senate and Ron Williams in the Senate and other Reason candidates, to have those voices of reason speaking loudly and truthfully in those areas. But we need your help to do that. So please do get involved. Jane,
and please do vote for me if you're in New South Wales. I believe in asking for the sale because I really like to get in.
Yeah.
do this work.
I think we would all like her to get in. I think, you know, we need more common sense, practical voices that listen to the evidence, that are not based on ideology, are not
Or
like
vested interests.
all vested interests. There is so much work that we can do, and so much effect and impact that someone like Jane can have in that Senate. And as we talked about the other independents, we've seen how they've been able to achieve that. And, you know, in our own small way, in Reason in Victoria has managed to, I think, change a number of policies down here that no one ever thought was possible. And we've proved that you can do that with common sense, with collaboration, and with with reason.
And shout out to all the other independents and small party progressive candidates who are standing to change Australia and turn it into the progressive, solution-oriented, evidence-based country that it once was and can be again.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Jane, thank you. Thank you for running.
Well, thank you for asking me.
Yes. Thank you for being angry, you know. She's
Yes.
not really. She's, you know.
Well, I am, but hopefully in a constructive way.
In a constructive way. That's right. We will do this again, and we hope to see you all out there, hopefully in person at an event or
Yes,
at a polling booth.
Yes.
It's always volunteering.
Wearing a t-shirt.
That's right. See you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Authorised by E. Sinclair, Reason Australia, Collingwood.